Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and talk about things that are going on to better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think that are being done right and are done wrong. Here we go.
Earlier today, the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office announced the conclusion of their review into a critical incident involving an armed subject who entered our police station on December 18th and attempted to shoot at one of our police officers. The officer in question responded with lethal force, prompting an investigation by the Michigan State Police and a thorough review by the Wayne County Prosecutor. The investigation and review by these outside agencies were separate from our own internal review to ensure that any conclusions were fair and independent. Now that the investigation is fully concluded, we are releasing this video to the public to ensure transparency and accountability, and because this incident deeply affected our community. Prior to the release of this footage, the family of the deceased was permitted to watch the full video. My sincere condolences go out to the family, who will forever be altered by the day's events. This was a tragedy for our entire community, including one of our officers who faced down an imminent threat to his life. We are praying for everyone affected by this tragedy, and I hope we will work together as a society to prevent this from happening again. This critical incident briefing contains graphic footage, and viewer discretion is advised. Around 3:33 p.m. on December 18th, surveillance footage shows the subject entering his former place of work on Warren Avenue. He proceeds to walk over toward the register, where he steals a handgun from the drawer and conceals it in his pants. Within approximately 10 minutes of leaving the salon, the subject arrives at the police station in a black SUV. That same afternoon, the Dearborn police station lobby was busy with foot traffic from residents, including families, due to the holiday events in the immediate vicinity, as well as a holiday toy drive that was taking place in the lobby. The subject then parks in a no parking zone directly in front of the lobby entrance, gets out of the vehicle and enters the building. Once inside, the subject proceeds directly to the desk. Acknowledging his presence, an officer then asks, "How are you doing?" The subject immediately pulls out a gun, aims it at the officer, and pulls the trigger. After pulling the trigger, the subject experiences a malfunction of the firearm. He checks the weapon, removes the magazine, puts it back in the gun, and attempts to rack the gun slide to resolve the malfunction. The officer yells "gun" several times to alert fellow officers inside the station. Gun, 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 gun. At this point, the officer recognizes that the subject poses a lethal threat to not only himself, but others who may be in or around the public lobby. Acting on his duty to confront the lethal threat, the officer slides open the glass and fires several rounds at the subject. Gun, 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 gun. While the glass is considered bullet resistant, it is not bulletproof. And furthermore, the officer has a duty to protect the public and his fellow officers when faced with an active gunman. When the officer engaged the threat, he discharged 17 rounds in a span of 4.5 seconds. In doing so, the officer acted in accordance with departmental training and guidelines on confronting lethal threats. Here is a view of that incident again from the desk camera, including audio. Gun, 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 gun. In accordance with their training, other officers proceed to secure the scene and ensure the subject safe to approach, allowing EMS to arrive and render medical aid to the subject. At the same time, other officers exit the front doors of the police station to search the subject's vehicle for other potential threats. An ambulance arrives within 7 minutes of the officer engaging the subject, and first responders render aid. The subject is carried out on a stretcher and transported to a nearby hospital where he is pronounced deceased. As you just witnessed, this was a tragic event for our community, for a family who lost a loved one, and for our police officers. Neither the Michigan State Police nor our internal investigation have been able to determine a motive in this incident. This individual has had 2 prior contacts with the Dearborn Police, which were both non-criminal in nature. The Dearborn Police Department is providing a link to the full video, as well as a link to our transparency dashboard. Thank you.
Okay. So I tried to do some searching on this, didn't find a whole lot. Here's an article from, let's click on Detroit. And I'll skip through some of the stuff that you obviously have already seen. The guy's name is Ali Naji. And the first part of the article just talks about him, what he's doing. I don't know if I can't remember if they said it in the video, but the officer fired 17 rounds. And then skip down here to the bottom part where it says investigation results. So Naji's family hired attorneys to help better understand what happened to the man. They were mostly curious about whether there was an opportunity for Dearborn police to de-escalate the situation. They did de-escalate the situation. The guy was attempting to clear the malfunction in the pistol and get it to fire. The officer acted and prevented him from doing that. So, yeah, they 100%, that officer 100% de-escalated that situation from going any further. As I've said before, people have this unrealistic expectation or mindset that de-escalation involves nothing but talking, nothing but verbal judo. It does not. De-escalation can involve physical force. Sometimes, to de-escalate a situation, punch somebody in the face. Or, in this case, shooting someone de-escalates the situation. I'm not a big fan of this over-reliance, this over-the-top push for de-escalate, 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 with the emphasis on just fucking talk to people. Talking doesn't work with some people. Does not work at all. Talking can escalate things on some people. Talking can allow a person to build up some mental toughness, build up some courage, and then do the thing. There's been many videos where a person has expressed suicidal ideations, and they're in a bit of a standoff with the police. They're kind of standing there. They're not doing anything at the beginning. They might be holding a knife or a gun. They may be saying some stuff, but they're not doing anything. They're not charging forward. They're not, actively harming themselves. They're just expressing that idea, and it's like a stalemate at that point. And you'll see in these videos where they just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Sometimes it starts off with, loud verbal commands where they're saying, drop the gun, drop the knife. And then it turns into, come on, man, it ain't worth it. Just listen to us. Just drop it. And then it's just talk and 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 talk after that. And you can watch in many of these videos or the person gains confidence as this thing rolls on and nobody's doing anything but blabbing their fucking mouth. That person in their head is going through the images of what they want to do. They're projecting in their head what's going to happen. They're thinking about it. They're going through these little scenarios in their head, these little quick short stories in their head, little videos, right? And they're thinking it over and over. And they're building the confidence to do the thing that they want to do. And then you eventually see them get that confidence and they do the thing. They charge forward, run at the police with a weapon, and the police have no choice but to defend themselves. So yes, too much talking can be detrimental. Too much talking can cause things to escalate. Now, am I saying that there should be no attempts to talk? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is this over-reliance on just this emphasis of just talk only, that's unrealistic. That does not work. That can make things worse in a lot of scenarios. So as far as I'm concerned, the police did properly de-escalate this situation by using deadly physical force. All right. Jump back into the article here. Where was it? Where was I at? Boom, boom, boom. Neither of the police investigations were able to uncover a motive for Naji's attempted shooting, and that they had, which they mentioned in the video, had 2 prior contacts. Reports show that Naji struggled with mental health. An attorney who oversaw a 2016 criminal arson case involving Naji told Local 4 he lit a little strip mall on fire thinking that he wanted to keep people warm in the wintertime. No one was injured, thank God. What the fuck? He lit a little strip mall on fire thinking that he wanted to keep people warm. Yeah, that'll fucking keep them warm, all right. Mental health problem. Yeah, you got some mental health problems if you think setting a building on fire will just help people keep warm. That's stupid. I highly, seriously doubt what this attorney is saying. Seriously doubt it. I highly doubt the fact this dude thought, well, if I set this building on fire, it'll be okay and it'll help keep people warm. But no, like, there's no way he was thinking that, especially if he held a job at a barber shop. So the barber shop, by working there, he knew that someone kept a gun in this drawer. Now, how did he know that gun was in that drawer? I don't know. It's possible that whoever has it told him about it. Told them, hey, if something happens, if there's a stick up, I got a gun in here. They could have said that. He could have opened the drawer by accident looking for something and noticed that it was there. No idea how he knew about that gun being there, but he knew about it. And the gun was easily accessible. The owner of it is not within arm's reach of it. It's obviously not being worn by the owner, but the owner does not appear to be anywhere close to it. So that is a negligent stowage of a firearm, in my opinion. Whoever owns this pistol, I think, should be held liable in some way. If not criminally, then at least civilly. If the family wants to sue somebody, they need to sue this barbershop or whoever owns the gun. You cannot leave guns laying around for unauthorized people to be able to grab a hold of. Now, when this guy worked there, he may have been authorized to handle that gun. He may have been told, hey, if there's a robbery, if there's something going on, here's the gun. So that may have been allowed for him to have access to it. But once he stopped working there, that permission goes away. Your gun should always be on you or within arm's reach of you. You should never leave it unattended, just sitting around somewhere. And if you leave it unattended, it needs to be locked and or made inoperable to unauthorized people. That means putting it in a safe or putting a trigger lock or cable lock on it. It is not 100% super realistic that keeping a gun in a drawer is going to keep you safe. What if the only employee, the owner or only employee in here who knows about that gun is over here at this door, whatever is behind this room or this door right here in this little room? What if they're right there when someone comes through the door with a gun or a knife? What's this person going to do if they're standing right there? Walk this entire distance all the way over here to get the gun? No. Unless you're standing right there, you're in within arm's reach of it at all times. It's unreachable. The best place to keep your gun is on you. You have to carry the damn thing for it to be useful. Even in your house, like these people who get a gun and they keep it in their bedroom. What if you live in a 2-story house and your bedroom's upstairs and you're downstairs in the living room and someone busts down the door? That gun might as well be in China. How realistic is it that you're going to get up off the couch, run up the stairs, get your gun, and then defend yourself against this person who has busted down your door and come in after you? Not likely at all. Now, if you had your gun on you while you're sitting on the couch watching TV, then you can immediately respond to the threat. If you had your gun sitting on the nightstand or the coffee table, you can immediately respond to that. A lot of people will treat guns as talisman. They think that if they have the thing, that they're safe. It's going to ward off evil spirits. It doesn't work like that. You have to carry it on you. You have to keep it within arm's reach of you so that you can immediately put it into play. If you cannot immediately put it into play, as I said, it might as well be in China for most scenarios. So you can tell that this glass partition is a bullet resistant type of material based off how thick it is. Bullet resistant glass is very, very thick. And you can see that on the sliding doors right here. And on the opening where it opens at with the front partition here. And the little I don't know what you call this, little voice where you can talk through it. It's got little holes in there. Voice box. I don't know what you call it. But that thing is super thick too. Would this have stopped the rounds from the bad guy? Potentially. It's possible. But what about people who are outside of this thing? If they're not behind this, they're not protected. And as you could see in that video beforehand, there were a lot of people in the lobby. What if he decided to turn that gun on one of those people in that lobby? Or he fires, notices that all this thing does is spider web. It doesn't break and crumble, and the person on the other side is still standing there looking at him. And then he realizes, oh, it's bullet-resistant glass. What's he going to do at that point? Keep shooting? Or will he go find someone who's not standing behind this and then shoot them? So for anyone who was thinking, oh, that officer was fine, all he had to do was stand there, this is just bulletproof glass, it's not going to hurt him. Possibly. It may have possibly kept this officer safe in here. But anyone else outside of this, nope, not keeping them safe.
Gun! 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 Gun!
So watch over here in this corner by the rug, right in here. He shot him out of his shoe.
Including audio.
And some people may have a problem with how many times he fired. I have no problem with how many times he fired. No problem whatsoever. Some people would say, well, if you fire that many times, it's not self-defense, it's murder. One round fired in self-defense is technically homicide. It's just a justifiable defense to homicide. So this idea that if you fire more than a few rounds, it's murder it's stupid. It's insane. It takes as many rounds as it takes to stop the threat. And the thing that a lot of people don't realize with handguns is handgun ammunition sucks. All handgun ammunition sucks. I don't care what caliber you have. They all suck. Sometimes people can take multiple rounds from pistol and still be standing. So it may require multiple rounds to stop that threat. Now, we can't see fully what this guy is doing because he's behind the blur box once the rounds start firing. Now, we can tell that he falls down.
Gun!
But just because he falls down, it doesn't mean he's not a threat anymore. There's been plenty of people who've been laying on the ground, sitting on the ground, and they're still shooting. They're still being a deadly threat. So it's plausible that once this guy fell, he was still pointing the gun in this direction. But we just can't see it because they put the blur box over it to prevent us from seeing a person dying. There's a saying, anything worth shooting once is worth shooting twice. And as I said, I have no problem with the amount of rounds that he fired at this guy. Now, out of those 17 rounds that he fired, how many hit? Well, I have no idea. No idea. You can't see it once he starts shooting. You can't see all of this. But I would say we don't see anything that appears to be busting or breaking. But it's possible that he missed a few rounds. But he could have also hit all 17 rounds in the guy. I don't know. That's not something that they released. But we do know that based off officer-involved shootings, that there are going to be some missed rounds in some cases. If you watch enough of these videos, you'll see missed rounds. So it's plausible that he missed some. We just can't see where they hit because the blur box could be covering it. Like if we took that blur box off, we might see the bottom part of this door, the glass being broken. And it's also plausible too that the glass in this door is the same kind of glass that's at this desk. So it may not have crumbled and fell completely out. It may have just spiderwebbed down here at the bottom and the rest of it stays in place. Alright, not much else to say about this video. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, thank you for watching.